In the northeast corner of Utah and the southwest corner of Wyoming, the Ashley National Forest is a land of contrasts. From a desert environment to the red cliffs of Flaming Gorge to the snow-capped peaks of the High Uintas Wilderness. Spring comes in a rush of color as yellow glacier lilies bloom within inches of the melting snow. Soon, red Indian paintbrush, blue columbine, and primrose will spread renewed life across the High Uintas. Animals that wintered in the mountains emerge from their burrows, and others take advantage of the new greenery. Although occasional storms sweep in to disrupt the peace, this is a season of serenity on the Ashley National Forest. These magnificent mountains exude the spirit of the West. Fremont Indians hunted and foraged in the area, followed later by the Comanche, Shoshone, and Utes. William Ashley, the forest's namesake, other mountain men, and fur traders explored here as early as 1820. At one time, this land lay beneath a shallow sea, but forces deep within the earth lifted it over a mile above sea level. The High Uinta Mountains were thrust even higher to form the loftiest mountain range in Utah. Other than the Brook Range in Alaska, they are the most prominent east-west range in the United States. Elevations vary from 6,000 feet in the lower canyons to almost 14,000 feet atop Kings Peak, Utah's highest elevation. Summits and basins form a natural watershed of immense worth. 90% of Utah's in-state water comes from these mountains. Today, woolly mammoths are gone along with the glaciers, but evidence of moving ice remains visible. In addition to grand vistas, glaciers also left behind lakes, hundreds of them. The Uinta Mountains, located on the Ashley and Wasatch Cache National Forests, contain the largest concentration of lakes in the state of Utah. Of more than 1,000 natural lakes in the Uintas, more than half support game fish. In addition, 400 miles of streams beckon fishermen. Fishermen willing to hike the last mile to these remote lakes will usually catch trout. Most of the lakes can be reached on well-marked Forest Service trails. Every turn of the trail beckons you deeper into the heart of the High Uintas Wilderness. Each discovery propels you to the next, whether it's a sweeping vista shaped by the agents of ice or a moose drinking from a crystal-clear stream. The High Uintas encompasses almost 500,000 acres and is the largest wilderness in Utah. Because of its ruggedness and severe climate and management by the Forest Service, the High Uintas Wilderness has resisted intrusion by man and remains relatively unspoiled. No roads enter the area, and no motorized vehicles are allowed. Backpackers, hikers, and horseback riders can get close-up views of abundant wildlife. But you may choose to keep your distance when you see a porcupine armed with quills. It's sluggish, but why should it hurry? Few predators dare meddle with this tree-climbing mammal. Living throughout the Uintas are yellow-bellied marmots. These docile creatures stand guard while resting on rocks high enough to afford a good view. Sensing danger, the guard squeals out a warning. Within seconds, every marmot disappears into its burrow or is stationed at the entrance, ready to dive in. Their smaller companions, pikas, also known as rock rabbits, run rather than hop like their close cousins, the true rabbit. They don't hibernate in winter, but remain active beneath the snow, eating grasses they have stashed under rocks for winter provisions. Mule deer and the Rocky Mountain elk carry on a peaceful routine here. Feeding on dew-covered grasses at dawn, bedding down during midday to escape the summer heat, and toward evening, moving out to graze again. Utah's largest population of moose live on the north slope of the High Uintas. Tagging behind its long-legged mother, the moose calf is clearly one of the largest of the hooved mammals, although its head remains small and stubby. Not until fall will it begin to develop the characteristically bulbous snout prominent on its parents. Give yourself an hour and you'll begin to appreciate the wealth of life flourishing in the High Uintas. There are hundreds of miles of trails, but be prepared for thin air at 10,000 feet. Nighttime temperatures can drop to freezing, even in midsummer. There are several trailheads that offer easy access into the High Uintas Wilderness. Among the popular starting points are the Uinta Canyon Trailhead near U-Bar Ranch, 27 miles north of Roosevelt, Utah, and U.S. Highway 40, and Lake Fork Trailhead near Moon Lake, 29 miles north of Duchesne and U.S. Highway 40. The Moon Lake Trailhead caters to the horsemen with accommodations specially designed for their riding stock. Rock Creek and Grandview Trailheads north and west of Duchesne also provide facilities for horseback riders. If you don't have your own mount, there are several outfitter guides available near major trailheads ready to take you on tours or hunting trips into the High Uintas. You can take a day-long hike or begin a backcountry trek at Swift Creek Trailhead, northeast of the Moon Lake Recreation Complex. Moon Lake is tucked into the High Uinta Mountains. Campgrounds and lodge are set under the tall trees. Fishing and hiking, trail rides and boating are available. Numerous picnic areas and campgrounds abound on the mountain slopes. They can accommodate individuals, families, and groups. Surround yourself with a variety of scenery from lush green forests to open grassy meadows. Most campgrounds are located near hiking trails, fishing lakes, and streams. Visitors and campers will soon encounter a wide variety of animals. One unusual character is the gray jay, or so-called camp robber. Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area is a unique blend of high mountain forests and sagebrush plains. This versatile playground dominates the northeast part of the Ashley National Forest. It's centered around Flaming Gorge Reservoir, one of the largest freshwater reservoirs in America. Fishing is particularly popular at this reservoir, and few experiences can match the excitement of a trophy Mackinaw at the end of your line. It takes almost 20 years to produce a trout this size, and many fishermen feel the ultimate challenge is catching and releasing a trophy trout to be caught again. Many Mackinaw weighing more than 35 pounds have been taken here, including the current state record weighing over 50 pounds. Other state and world records have also been established and then broken here for the largest rainbow and brown trout. If you get tired of trophies, try catching kokanee salmon, cutthroat trout, channel catfish, or smallmouth bass. Add a stamp to your fishing license, and Wyoming and Utah will both honor it on the lake. Fishing is open year-round and 24 hours a day on this lake. But boaters never need touch a fishing pole to enjoy Lake Flaming Gorge. 91 miles of channels and bays carry you from desert colors of Firehole Canyon in Wyoming through red cliffs in Utah that give the lake its name. Nesting among the canyon cliffs are osprey, who eat fish almost exclusively. Water skiing is popular in the twisting coves as well as the northern portion of the reservoir, where broader expanses of water are surrounded by open country. Boat ramps and 3 marinas serve all corners of the reservoir. Cedar Springs Marina is located 1 mile from Flaming Gorge Dam, and Lucerne Valley Marina is east of the town of Manila. On the Wyoming part of Flaming Gorge Reservoir is Buckboard Marina. Each provide boat rentals, tie-downs, boat slips, gasoline, fishing supplies, and convenience foods. There are several picnic areas and campgrounds at Flaming Gorge that can accommodate individuals and families. Reservations or advance arrangements are necessary for groups. The most modern Forest Service campgrounds are Firefighters Memorial Campground, located among lodgepole and ponderosa pines, and Lucerne Valley and Buckboard campgrounds in the open country. The Firefighters Memorial Campground is dedicated to 3 firefighters who lost their lives in a 1977 wildfire. Pronghorn antelope roam the flats north and south of Buckboard Crossing in Lucerne Valley and on Antelope Flat northwest of Dutch John. These graceful animals are frequent visitors in the campgrounds. Tent pads are available, and many of the parking spurs will accept even the longest camping vehicles or trailers. More rustic facilities are found in numerous smaller campgrounds scattered throughout the National Recreation Area. The Forest Service operates 2 visitor centers. Exhibits in the Visitor Center at Flaming Gorge Dam tell the impressive history of the area and the role the reservoir plays in the water system of the West. Slide programs, movies, displays, self-guided tours, and interpretive literature and postcards are available at the center. Interpretive hosts will be glad to answer questions or provide direction. Red Canyon Visitor Center, located 13 miles west of the dam, is built on a canyon rim overlooking the gorge, some 1,400 feet below. This canyon vista is one of Utah's most spectacular views. The Visitor Center contains displays of wildlife, plant life, and other resources of the area. A self-guided trail near the Visitor Center features interpretive signs and gives visitors of all ages a chance to learn about the ever-changing forest. Directly across the canyon from the Visitor Center is Bear Top Mountain, where a healthy herd of bighorn sheep flourish. They segregate themselves according to gender during spring and summer. Ewes and lambs form herds of as many as 40 or 60, while rams usually travel alone or in a small group. In the fall, rams will join the herd and compete for ewes. This herd is part of an ongoing research program of bighorn sheep behavior. Flowing clear and cold below Flaming Gorge Dam is the Green River. The Bureau of Reclamation helps maintain this blue ribbon fishery by providing consistent water temperature that allows excellent fishing any month of the year. The habitat is perfect for bottom-dwelling insects that make up most of the trout food supply. The portion of the river below Flaming Gorge Dam provides some of the best year-round fishing in the world. Good fishermen can catch and release over 50 trout a day. Studies showed the Green had over 20,000 fish in the first 2 miles, which was more than any other stream in the country. It's slightly less today, only because the trout are bigger. Average fish is about 20 inches. A 7-mile trail parallels the river between the dam and Little Hole boat ramp. It's an easy one-day trip with plenty of time for fishing. This river is limited to artificial flies and lures. Trout longer than 13 inches and shorter than 20 must be released. They are the fish that best survive the rigors of being caught and are some of the most productive spawners. Floating the Green River is by far the best way to fish and enjoy this fabulous stream. Over 50,000 visitors take this trip each recreation season. This unique self-guided float trip originates behind Flaming Gorge Dam. Several small rapids between the dam and Little Hole Make the 7-mile trip fun, yet safe for the entire family. If you're lucky, you might see a river otter. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources has restored this playful animal to the Green River. Tying the Ashley National Forest features together are U.S. Highways 44 and 191, which have been declared as one of America's National Forest Scenic Byways. This byway crosses the Uinta Mountains near Flaming Gorge. The byway gives visitors a view of exposed edges of the folded layers of the Uintas. You will also drive through successive climatic zones witnessed by desert shrubs, pinyon juniper, and mountain forests of lodgepole and ponderosa pine. An abundance of wildlife inhabit the area and are often seen by watchful travelers. Moose, elk, and mule deer grace the landscape. Travelers often report seeing bighorn sheep near Sheep Creek. The bighorns were reintroduced here by the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources in partnership with the Forest Service. A popular scenic loop off of Highway 44 is Sheep Creek Canyon, southwest of Manila. The canyon offers a lavish display of twisted and upturned rock. This is one of the few places in the world where visitors can discover the geological events covering millions of years in only 20 minutes of driving. Sheep Creek has been eroding this spectacular canyon for millions of years since the uplift of the Uinta Mountains. During the first and second weeks of September, thousands of kokanee salmon run from the Flaming Gorge Reservoir to spawn in Sheep Creek. Their life's mission complete, the adults die some weeks later, leaving behind next year's generation to hatch in the spring. This loop also provides access to Spirit Lake, located on the north slope of the High Uintas. A popular stop for many visitors going to Spirit Lake and the High Uintas is Uinta Mountain Lookout Fire Tower. This tower is unique as the only structure in the entire state of Utah operated for the purpose of fire detection and supporting observation and living quarters on an elevated tower. Built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in 1937, it's listed on the Register of Historic Places. Another popular scenic drive is the Red Cloud Loop. The road begins at the intersection with US 191. This loop offers outstanding opportunities to view varied forest topography, wildlife, and vegetation, with many features to captivate the imagination. Indian Canyon on Highway 191 from Duchesne to Helper is a beautiful scenic byway which offers opportunities for viewing wildlife and outstanding geological features. As the seasons change on the Ashley National Forest, you can feel the excitement as the air temperature takes its autumn slide. Hunters roam the high mountains and low valleys of the forest in search of elk and mule deer during Utah's annual big game hunts. Falling leaves soon are replaced by falling snow. The new blanket of snow provides excellent conditions for snowmobiling and miles of trails for cross-country skiing, such as found on the Red Cloud Loop and the Old Carter Military Pass Trail. Ice fishing is fast becoming a staple of winter recreation at Flaming Gorge Lake. The hush of winter spreads as mule deer and elk head for lower elevations, where they subsist on winter browse. Silently, the Uintas await another spring. The Ashley National Forest is a land of challenge, whether you seek the pristine splendor and the solitude of the High Uintas Wilderness or testing your skills landing a trout. Perhaps the most important message of all, this forest is a place for families. One visit to the forest and a multitude of memories will be yours forever. The Forest Service invites you to discover America's great outdoors by visiting any of the magnificent national forests located within a day's drive throughout Utah. For further information, please contact one of the following ranger districts or the main headquarters in Vernal, Utah.